All right, so episode 8, part 2, specifically talking about budgeting. So I got two things that are kind of going on right now with me as far as my budget plan is concerned. Number one, I got what I regularly do, and then number two, I have what I'm doing now just for the house to make sure we got enough money in the nest egg. So I'll share one and then I'll share the other. And again, this is not an exact science. This is not like, oh, you got to do this. This is just me trying to save some money. So on a normal basis, one of the things that I have been doing for years, like literally, is I write out or I put in my phone calendar or some sort of calendar when I get paid for 6 to 8 months at a time. So that way I'll know, like, okay, I get paid on this date, I get paid on that date. So once I write it out, the next thing that I do is I designate for each check what bills will be paid. So I of course have rent check, and then I call it my small bills check, which is basically like the internet, phone bill, and my light bill, not a lot of other bills. And so I write out, or I will put in my phone what bills will be paid. And then I give myself an estimated expense report. So I put down like my check is this much, the bills for this check are here, this is how much I have left. And using that, what I have left amount, I give myself an allowance. And so the allowance tells me how much to spend and how much to save. Now, I will say it took me a minute to get in the habit of giving myself an allowance, because I remember when I first started, I was blowing through my allowance in like 2 days. And I was like, oh, well, it's my money. I work hard for it. But when I really sat down and thought about it, it was like, well, you're not helping, you're actually hindering your goal, which is to save money. So now I'm really strict. It's like you got X amount of dollars to last you from this pay period to that pay period. That means that if you break that down into the amount of days, this is how much money you can spend per day. And that includes food, gas, water, whatever you want to do. You got this amount of money. And so it took me a while to get used to it. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, but I'm so glad that I did, because now I think that's something that I really will continue like for the rest of my life, because I definitely can see something going into savings each time I get paid. And it also helps me to see like when I'll get those free checks or when I have a bonus coming, and what I can do with that. Like it may not be necessarily me saving that money. It could be we're planning for a trip. So this is what you'll need for that trip. So that's what I do like on a normal basis. Now, right now, because I'm really trying to save everything that I can for this house, I have implemented an aggressive savings plan. So I'll tell you guys like how I started that from beginning to where I am now. So the first thing that I did like several months ago was I started looking at where can I cut corners, where can I cut costs? And I first thought about auto subscriptions and auto deductions out of my payroll check. So I went through literally and looked at what am I paying for that I'm really not using. Found out like I could save a lot of money because I had some auto subscriptions that I don't use. Like I had a subscription to I don't even know what it was for. I just remember canceling. It was like 10 or 15 bucks a month. I canceled it. I also remember that I saw on my auto payroll deductions that I had 2 types of insurance coming out, but they were the same type, just 2 different companies. I canceled one because I don't need but one. I'm only one person. So that saved me some money every check. And so I looked, and that saved me about 100 bucks a month, maybe a little bit over 100. So that was the first thing that I did. The second thing that I stopped doing was eating out so much. And so anybody that knows me knows that I work like really long hours. I leave my house at like 6 a.m. I don't get back to 6 p.m. And the last thing I want to do when I get home is cook. So my son and I ate out a lot. And we didn't eat like Burger King and McDonald's and things like that. We were eating like food that you should only go to like on special occasions from those type of restaurants. So when you think about it, $40, $50, almost 2 to 3 times a week, that's a lot of money. And so I stopped eating out and I started grocery shopping and I started meal prepping. So what I do is like I'll cook tonight, and then whatever I cook tonight, I just make sure I save a portion and I take it to lunch tomorrow. And I say, you're not getting anything else. I have to do a lot of self-talk. You're not getting anything else until you get home. And that has been like so much money saved. Another thing that I've done is started making trips only to the essential places. So with the pandemic, COVID, I'm not doing like a lot of entertaining and going out and things like that. But one thing we'll do in a minute is take a drive. We'll just drive around the city just to see the sights. Right now, we're really just limiting our gas mileage and things like that by just only going to places we need, such as the grocery store, to work, and things like that. And so that saved me a lot of money because, you know, vehicles burn gas and gas is expensive. Another thing that I did, and this is something that the weak cannot do, is I literally cut out all of my non-essential things that I don't need. And let me tell you what I mean by non-essential. So I'm gonna show you this. Don't check me because I'm gonna take these off this weekend. Just haven't had time. But like, I don't get my nails done anymore. These nails right here should have been off like a month ago. You see how much they've grown? I'm just ashamed to show y'all that. But I got my nails done like in October, and I only did it for my birthday because my birthday was coming up in November and I wanted to do something special for myself. Once upon a time, I got my nails done every 3 weeks. I got my toes done every 3 weeks. It was like a must do. But since I have started with this aggressive savings plan, I cut out all of that. Another thing that I stopped doing is going to get my hair professionally done. I learned how to do my own hair. So I have learned how to do braids or twists. I'm wearing my natural hair now, which I love my natural hair. But if it's one of those things where I was going to the beauty shop, I'm not anymore. I've stopped shopping online. Amazon, I love them. They had packages coming to my house so much. And Shein, or Shein, however you want to pronounce it, she was getting a lot of money from me. I was buying clothes every month for like $200, $250, and I was just fresh to death. But I have stopped all of that as of right now, just in the name of saving money. And I'll be honest with you guys, that adds up. So right now, I think I'm saving about $400 to $500 just from not shopping online, not eating out, auto subscription and things like that. So all of that money is going toward my savings on top of what I normally save. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I'm ready to keep all of it up once I close and get everything that's needed for the house. Definitely gonna start going to get my nails done again and my toes. I just feel like that's something every person should do just for themselves, but I'll be okay for right now. Definitely gonna go back to get my hair professionally done. Because again, I just don't have the energy. That's why I haven't put my braids back up, because I'm just tired and I don't feel like taming this mane of mine. And I'm trying to think, and I think that's about it. I will be honest with you and say I live way beneath my means. So my bills don't outweigh like what I bring in right now. Now, next year when those student loans kick back in, that's a whole nother story, a whole nother series. I'm scared to even think about it. But as of right now, while everything is like on hiatus with the student loans, like my take-home pay really is sufficient for us to save quite a bit. So I know that I haven't always been in that type of position, and I'm just kind of thinking about when I first started teaching and I didn't have like money to spare like that. I will say that anything helps. $25, $50, just save it, because you'll see eventually it'll add up, and it eventually will grow. And one last thing that I do, just thinking about like how I kind of get those buckets in. Anytime I get a bonus at work, anytime like the government gives us something, you know, and I'm not ashamed to say those Biden child tax credit things, I've been saving those. So like all of that money has been going in. So I think about if somebody, you know, just gives me gas money and I don't need it, you know, if I put that in savings. I use like a lot of gift cards that people have given me to keep from spending my own money. I just look for any ways not to spend. And so that is about it. Again, I'm sorry it's not like the most advanced plan, but that's what I do. So yeah, I hope that helps. I will say the biggest thing to help me with this is writing my budget out and sticking to it. Like that has helped me tremendously. So like even with this aggressive savings plan, I've already earmarked what money is going where, when I need to buy what, when I need to have this. And for me, it's almost like a check off list. So every time I get paid, before I spend anything, I look at my list and I say, this is what you're going to do with this amount of money for this week. And I stick to that plan. So I hope that helps. Sorry it wasn't like anything magical, but yeah, thank you guys again. Thank you always for listening. And if you have any questions or comments about anything, just let me know. And I hope that you have an awesome day.